And here we are live at the show. Hello, Ven. Welcome for
Hello, everyone.
joining us. And I have Al. Whoop! See that mirror image, right? We have Alan.
Point the opposite way.
Big Hard Books and Classics. I know it's like the Brady Bunch, right?
I'm down here.
Yeah.
Greg from Another Bibliophile Reads, which I'm finally starting to get that right. I kept saying in my videos, Another Bibliophile, and then I'm like, oh, wait a minute, there's another word that goes on Greg's channel.
It's okay.
I've been known to butcher channel names myself. Pretty often.
Well, and I find sometimes, and that's why I need my paper and pencil handy. Actually, Ven and I were talking about this last week when he was on my channel for the live, of having to keep notes because some of the names are easy to remember, but then you try and you remember the channel name, but then you forget the person's name, and it's like, oh, I need a cheat sheet.
I know.
Yeah, I wouldn't have named my channel so long. I would have shortened it up to Big Books or something like that. Gareth used to call me Big Hard Al. He still does for fun, but Big Hard Al. I call him Big Hard Gareth.
Well, see, and it's funny, and I've just started mentioning my name in the videos because a few people have asked. Like, I usually just started with my hello, welcome, and then I'd start babbling about whatever I was babbling about. And the funny thing is, when I started my channel, first it was Cobalt Dragon, and then someone's like, well, you're going to be talking books and things. Why don't you call it Elaine Online? I'm like, okay, let's go with that. So I did. And then the handles came out for YouTube. Well, someone out there in the 2 billion users now has at Elaine Online, and they had a bigger channel, so they got to snag it. And I'm like, well, crap, I may as well just go back to Cobalt Dragon, and look, that handle's free. So my channel name and my handle are the same, but now everyone's like, what's your name? Oh, yeah.
You know, it's curious. When I first decided to do a channel, you originally log into Google under your name. I just put my name.
Yep.
But I didn't want to do my channel with just my full name. I said, I don't want everyone knowing my full name.
Exactly.
Then I did, what is it called, where you have branding channels?
Oh, yeah.
So I created, so my real channel is linked to my bibliophile channel as a brand. So I can log in the same and just switch back and forth. I never really use my old one anymore. But when I said, oh, Another Bibliophile Reads, I'll just keep my name. And then I said, hello, welcome to my channel. My name is so is Greg. And said, oh, I just blew it in the first video I ever made. So I've never hid the fact that I have a name, of course. I don't let my last name out, though. So.
Yeah. Well, actually, and then we can start with that question. So how long have each of you been on YouTube, and what kind of got you into BookTube specifically?
Well, I've been on 6 years, coming up to 6 in August.
Nice.
The first videos I watched were of young women with white backgrounds and white bookshelves, just stacked. It looked like a big library, like Greg's, just all white and pristine. And they were telling you how to do it and tips on getting more viewers and making that money. And, so I watched all those and, still not making that money. Like Greg.
Well, I started after I read a book called J.R. by William Gaddis. And that was in 2020. And I looked it up, and I found a couple of videos, and a guy
Oh,
talking. It was Leaf by Leaf, the channel.
yeah, I like him. We buddy read JR.
We did. That was my second read. But so I
Oh,
looked at it. I said, "Oh, he's talking about books. Isn't that fun?" And then I started watching. I just discovered that there were people on YouTube talking about books.
Mm.
And then I decided, well, I'm going to do it. And my first video was early in May of 2020, where I did a wrap up of my April readings.
Nice.
And that was it. I've been going ever since then.
Wow. That's great. And you just got monetized a little while ago, right?
Yes. It's been about 3-4 months. I haven't got my first check yet.
Oh,
Really?
Well, what happens is you have to have a minimum of $100. So it takes a couple months for my channel to earn $100.
Because it's so many, what is it, pennies, whatever per
Yeah,
view? Or...
not a lot. I'm doing about $25 a month, $30 a month in earnings. So
Hey,
you gonna donate it to the animal shelter there? Or?
I don't know. I haven't gotten it yet. In theory, I should be getting something this week.
nice.
But it's kind of funny because every time they say you get a payment, then they say there's something wrong with your information. Like, oh, we don't have your tax ID number, or
Oh,
something else. So they tell you after the month. So my first payment will be like $190, something like that. So
hey, there's a nice
they
bonus.
got taxes, and who knows what it'll be after taxes, but
still, it's at least something. Now,
it's something.
Now, do either of you do like Amazon affiliate stuff or anything like that?
No, I don't.
I don't, but I get free things. Like I'm getting a free piano today.
A free piano?
Yeah, it might be downstairs right now.
Nice.
I'm willing to bet, Alan, that piano is going to end up not being free.
Yeah, I know, but
I think they gave you a free 30-day trial for the piano.
Like a full-size piano?
No. You have to ask Eddie.
No, it's a small one. But I got this light free.
Nice.
Reading light. It goes
Hey,
on my
now
wall.
that's handy too because my lighting, and I used to stress about it, and then the more I'd been around it, I'm like, why am I freaking out about so many things about, the lighting's just got to be this way or this or that, and
The ring light.
I don't really worry about it too much. As I said, my wife started her channel. It's going really good.
Nice.
But she's getting very picky about what her videos look like. She's doing lots of making sure the lighting's correct, and there's lots of visual stimulate. She's what it's called B-roll.
Yeah.
B-roll is when you put a different picture to cover yourself. And like hers is early retirement, so she wants to talk about the benefits of playing cards with your friends. So she gets a video of people playing cards, and she just puts it up. I don't particularly like those kind of things inserted into videos. I like the talking head myself. But, I guess the problem is the people who use B-roll a lot are people with thousands and thousands and thousands of subscribers. And here I am, Beard, I have 1,000, but they're doing much better than me. So maybe there is something to be said for like B-roll footage and so forth.
Now, when we have Brian on the show next month, Brian at Bookish, he's got over 10,000, and I want to hear about like the plaque they give you at I think 5,000 or 10,000. They give you a plaque.
Oh, nice!
And then every 100,000, you get.
You move up.
Yeah, plaque, but.
And see, that's the thing too. And I mean, the two of you I've only got, like I say, 2 and a few years under my belt in terms of producing videos. Like my first one didn't go up until April 2022, but I started my account in July. but I ended up deleting so many videos before I would put, because it's like, oh, it doesn't look right. Oh, I sound terrible. And to be honest, that's the bit of a challenge with editing videos. I don't like hearing myself, but
Yeah.
I want to make sure I have the wording accurate. So I end up listening to it at least twice before I'll put anything up. And so I'm always almost envious of people who say, well, I don't edit my videos. They just go up. And I'm like, no,
I
I
don't watch
can't do
mine.
that.
I never
Well,
watched
well,
mine.
well, I used to be like that, where I just talk about it and upload.
Yeah.
But the problem with me is I do so many audiobooks,
Mm.
so many Kindle books, that I don't have anything to hold up and show a lot of the time.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, so you have to put it.
So I started doing it on my phone, where I started, putting the pictures in. And then I found this thing about iPhone is you will run out of space to edit.
Mm.
So you will get all your pictures up and you hit save and it goes, you don't have enough space to
Yep.
save. And
Ah.
even though you go back and delete it,
Yeah.
that system still sees the space is being used until you quit, which means everything you did is not saved and you have to start
Oh.
over again.
Yeah, see, I do my stuff on either my iMac or my
Right.
laptop because
That's
to me, I've just got an Android, but it's too small to kind of navigate, I
yeah.
find.
That's what got me finally. I did one of those videos where I put like 10 books up on the screen and I had to redo it. And I said, I'm done with that.
Yeah, no kidding.
And then I got a like editing software on my Windows computer. And then I discovered another issue. If you record on your phone,
Yeah.
most of my videos record on my phone,
Mhm.
and you take your cable and you attach it to your window and you transfer over the file, you lose clarity in your video. It gets washed out. So
Ah.
it just looks like a filter has been put over your video.
I used
See,
to
I
use an app called KindMaster that I like
Mhm.
for phone.
And do you do your recording with the phone as well, Alan?
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
Do you not use a phone, Elaine?
Yes, I use my phone.
I do sometimes, like for my outdoor jungle videos, aka my yard, I use my phone because I have my tripod and then I can set it up and I'm like puttering around. So my yard videos are all done with my phone. Actually, it's been a while because I don't do my monthly summaries anymore, but I might start going back to that because I kind of miss doing those. So I just have my tripod set up and then I do my books. But I found and like I say, I have an Android, but when I've done my recording with my phone and then plugged them onto my laptop, which is Windows,
Mm-hmm.
I haven't had a problem with the clarity between my phone and the laptop.
You have an
That's
Android,
interesting.
but what's curious, there's a way around that. You take that video and you upload it to your Google Drive,
Okay.
and then you download it from your Google Drive to your laptop, and it's fine.
Yeah, see, mine's fine. I don't have a
I
problem.
don't know.
Android.
And I think it's something about the native video format in an iPhone that's not entirely compatible with Windows. So
Yeah.
when you actually upload to Google, it will take, depending on the length of the video, anywhere from like 1 minute to 20 minutes to prepare. And I think that's where the internal part of the phone is saying this is not going to be a native. So they're reconverting it to something that can be used by another system.
Yeah. See, and
That's my interpretation of what's doing.
And I'm thinking that makes sense. And that's why I say again, so here we have cell phones, right?
Mhm.
Android, iPhone should do the same thing. But like you've just said as well, Greg, that once you try and switch it to a Windows machine, there's some little difference between them that
Well,
just,
iPhones won't even let you send a message to an Android without it being like losing quality in that. If you send a video from an iPhone to an Android,
then there's a difference. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. My ideal would be if someone could get Windows and iMac and smoosh them together with the best of the best and come up with a third option. Because when I used to work in the schools, well, way back before, I used to use WordPerfect, and I love that program. It did everything I needed for data processing, all the rest. Then I had to learn all this Microsoft Word, Excel, other stuff. Then, when I came on YouTube trying to learn how to edit videos, I was using Video Editor, which was a nightmare between trying to move that little arrow and make sure you didn't overdo it. And I said to my husband, I'm not doing videos. This is craziness, which is when he got me my little iMac Air and I discovered iMovies. So that's why I have two systems, because I know how to do a bunch of stuff on one. And when I get frustrated and can't figure it out, there's an easy thing on the other one to kind of do that. Oh, see, and Ven saying too, Apple stuff rarely plays well with other systems.
Yep.
But yeah, it would be great if someone could put those two together, because I love iMovie for editing. It's just an easy snip, plug in those books, like
Mhm.
you mentioned, Greg, because I've kind of been playing around with it and doing a bit more of like inserting things if I have something, or the rare time that I don't have the book, like if I've borrowed it from the library or something. Which, by the way, Alan, thank you so much for that speed reading on Libby. I'm
oh,
almost finished one of my UFO books that I got from the library. I'm at
great, yeah.
1.75 times. I'm like, yes,
I
this
don't
I
listen
can
to things at
handle.
normal speed.
That's
I don't listen to YouTube at normal speed.
I can't. I mean, I tried because what happened this weekend, last weekend, my wife and I were going down to a lake house about 2.5 hours away. So we were listening to some short stories, and she's used to listening at one speed on
Mm.
audio. And it was like really saying, okay, this is an hour-long story. It's taking an hour.
Ah,
You know?
So now I know your secret. You don't listen at the same speed either, Greg.
Yeah, depending on the book.
Yeah.
Usually I hang out about 1.5.
yeah, 1.5 for me.
Some you can boost up,
Hmm.
and some you have to slow down even lower than that, because the narrator, just the way the narrator speaks, does not come out right
Mm.
at the
Yeah,
higher.
there's somebody who said they listen at like 1.5, 1.50. That's way fast.
That's what I do. 1.5. That's enough.
Oh, you do? Oh,
That's
I
not
only do
fast.
1.25.
Oh, do you?
You're
And see,
probably talking about 2.5.
yeah, 2.5 is chipmunk crazy
Yeah,
fast. I tried that one and I'm like,
that's crazy.
Yeah, it was
well,
something out pretty outrageous. I mean, I couldn't listen. I couldn't do it.
no, it was too fast. And when I used to work in the school, and we used a program called Kurzweil, which I loved and kept getting the kids to use it. Because the nice thing with Kurzweil is you saw the text and it would read it, but it would highlight the words. So the kids who were struggling readers were getting it orally and visually. And that was helping them recognize words down the road so that their own reading would get stronger. But the other nice thing with it is Kurzweil would show you how many words per minute it was reading. And if I remember right, but it's been 7 years, so I could be wrong, it was, I think it's 140 words is kind of the average. So that's probably what most of these audio people are reading at. But the nice thing with that is it also helped me know how fast or slow I needed to talk to students, because some needed it slower because they process slower, which explained why their teachers would piss them off so much, because they'd talk too fast and the kids couldn't process what the assignment was. But there were other people like me who needed it kicked up a notch, or you'd lose us because we'd be suddenly squirrel and all over the place. But that was handy because you knew what number to set it at. So I've been playing a bit in Libby because it tells you times the speed, but not how many words are coming through that. So yeah, that was been kind of interesting. Just want to see. So Ven has a lot of people I know use CapCut. Haven't heard of that.
I've not heard of that either.
Not used it myself though. And again, laptop or my iMac, I can't do things on my phone. Mine's basically a text machine and the odd phone call. Oh, and Voxer now because of Dave, because I started doing Buddy Read, so I had to figure out Voxer. Second that about the speed. Some I can do.
Again, I like KindMaster if anybody's looking for an easy phone program. Free.
Free's always good. That fits my budget.
But don't they limit you to 10-minute videos on free?
No, my videos are over 10 minutes.
But you don't use KindMaster anymore.
But I did.
I remember one of those video free ones say you can use it for free, but your videos are limited to a certain
time. It might be. But my videos are over 10 minutes.
Now, is that to record?
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Is that to record your videos, Alan?
Yeah, and edit it. KindMaster. I just thought I'd throw it out there for anybody who's listening and looking.
Yeah, but now that I have my MacBook, I just transfer my video over to iMovie, and it's like so much better.
See, that's what I do, and I find it quicker, and I like having the bigger screen and the keyboard to work with. Like, I know for some people, their phone is like a teeny computer.
It is.
I just thought, and I mean, well, mine's small, and I laugh, and I was joking with my husband because when cell phones came out, there were these big monster things, and then they got smaller, and now they're getting bigger till they're almost the size of a flippin' tablet again.
I use two phones. Yeah, one for Voxer and that. I have a couple channels too, so I have one phone geared to one channel, like music channel. And then, this for BookTube.
See, and I'm so bad half the time, I can't tell you where my phone is in the house. And it's really bad because when I go out, I always turn the volume off because I don't want it, ringing in my purse or whatever if I'm wandering through the store. Then when I come home, I forget to put the volume back on it. I put it down. Now, I always have to try and find it by the afternoon because my husband will text before he's coming home, do I need to pick up anything? And I'm like, well, yeah, I guess might be this hour he's texting. I should go find that thing. Or if I'm outside, I have a better idea of knowing where it is because then I want to grab pictures of the butterflies and things. So it's more, so that's kind of it. It's, hey, how are you doing? Now, see, here's the name. So I know Bad is Rad.
Hey, Bad.
Oh my
There
God.
we go. So welcome. Thanks for joining. But yeah, so my phone is basically a text. Hey, we got more people in the house.
Hey, cool. Dave and
Hey,
Olive.
Dave. So yeah, I'll use it for like a text or a camera. And that's kind of it. The odd time I use it as a phone because we don't have a landline anymore.
I don't have a landline.
Yep. And I've discovered because we have this cool feature where if you call me, you have to enter a password. I've now lost touch with some people because they won't call because they heard something on Facebook about scammers. And I'm like, oh, well.
Oh.
But that little feature means I don't get any salespeople calling
I
me because it's computers or AI.
Honestly, if I look at my phone and I do not recognize the number, I do not answer the phone.
Yeah.
Which means I'm never going to be part of a political poll.
It's probably not a bad thing considering what's happening these days.
Well, all it means is that the political polls are based on people who answer their phone without knowing who's calling.
Yeah. We'll see. And that's it. Now, the one thing I do love about what I have now so that there's no sales calls is that's actually how I found out someone stole my phone number a few years ago and they were using it to run a scam. And I had someone call me and I'm like, no, your number didn't come up. How is this possible? And they're like, but I didn't call you. You called me. And they were from a province over. And I don't know anyone in Manitoba. And I got a nasty text from Saskatchewan. Stop effing calling me. And I'm like, this isn't me. So I had to change my phone number. And trust me, I learned that person who stole my number supposedly made between $3,000 and $5,000 that day. I ended up spending the next day going through all my frickin' sign up things for, that 2-step verification, going, okay, let's hope I got all the websites, got a hold of all my contacts. Yep. And it's like, hi, vey.
Well, that's why, because I got my phone originally when I was living in Washington State. And we have a different area code than Virginia. And my wife said, let's change Virginia phones and move down here. He goes, do you really want to change all those websites to verify things to your new phone number?
Yeah.
So even though you look at me, it looks like, oh, that's a Washington phone number. Not in Washington.
But that's it. And until my number got hacked, I was like, holy crap. Like that 2-step thing seemed like a good idea till some dumbass takes your number and then you got to get a hold of the bank and this and that and everybody. And it's like,
now, did they get a hold of your number or are they spoofing your number?
I think the term is spoofing.
Right.
And so they made a ton of money. Now, when I took my phone in, they said, chances are you don't have to change it. And I'm like, you know what? I'm not risking it. It could happen again. Hope not. I'm actually touching wood. But yeah, it's just what a crappy thing. But hey, we've got a number of comments here. So
okay.
We had Dave and Olive popping in.
Oh, bad's on my case. We're buddy reading a book.
Your buddy read.
Reading my book.
Then saying hi. Saying hi to Dave and Olive. Sup, Ben? Popped in, saw, yay! Sup, Dave? Aw, that's nice.
That's nice.
Hey, and we're going to be seeing Dave in August. He's going to be guesting, so I'm getting a few new people popping in instead of just me babbling.
Yeah. Cool.
Nice to take a break.
Yeah, doing lives are kind of fun.
Oh, there we go. Someone else having to redo everything.
Mm.
Very true. Must be careful. Yeah. And that's it. And this is why, to be honest, I have a very limited presence in terms of technology, because between all the passwords and everything else, I have to say, Goodreads was amazing. I've had that account since 2014. I started using it in 2022 to start recording my books. Never had an issue with it. Facebook, I don't know how many problems I had with that sucker in just a couple of years, and other friends getting hacked. I had a friend who said, if you get an invite from my mom, ignore it. And someone else is like, is your mom not allowed to have friends? And she's like, yeah, but somebody hacked her account. And I'm like, no, that's way too much work. I just do like my little YouTube and stuff. And saw another video from someone yesterday. Oh no, channel got hacked and deleted.
Hmm.
Oh, brutal.
That's
That is,
mean. That's tough.
sorry?
And honestly, that's tough. Yeah, you get your channel
Yeah.
deleted.
Oh, that's yikes. I mean, I don't have tons of videos, but I'd be heartbroken, especially if you don't have those videos saved somewhere else. Like,
Yeah, I don't.
this,
I just,
Yeah.
even though I have like terabyte saving drives, it's like you could easily eat up a terabyte of videos.
oh yeah, it takes a ton of space. Okay, here we go. Did give a person here in my number, change my number, right? Oh no. Yeah, and that's the bugger of it too, is, because sometimes you just don't know. And
Hmm.
sadly, but I'm not going back to delete the videos. There's some people, and it's a while back, I've given shout outs to, and then I'm like, what the hell was I thinking? But, if the videos are so old, I'm pretty sure it's not going to be a big deal. But
Yeah,
yeah,
I've done
that's
that.
unfortunate.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Facebook can be a dumpster fire.
I'm
Yeah,
not even on Facebook.
I used to be, because it was a great way to keep up with my grads, and the
Mm.
school that I was at closed, so we kept in touch. But I was like a clown because, and I just kept it friends of friends. And then I decided to open, I thought, well, maybe I'll meet some new people. And then I was getting these girlies who basically had band-aids for clothes. So I put a post on my timeline. I'm like, are you expecting me to buy your winter wardrobe? Because I can't afford you. So I don't need to see you in like next to nothing, but thanks for the thought. And it's
Mm-hmm.
like, yikers. It was just like, wow. Change my password, social media at least once a month. See, I'd forget. I mean, I do write them down in a separate spot and mix them up, but yeah, and
Yeah,
that's
the safer thing to do, like a pass, is like have a password management system, like one word, one password,
mm,
and you just have a really tough
Yeah,
password
that's
to get
what I
in.
do.
I mean, and
What I
then
do.
you can use like Chrome, and it gives you this GUID, this like
yeah,
incredibly long password that really no one's going to crack, and
yeah.
it'll fill it in for you, because you look at this, I can't type that. I mean, it's
Yeah.
almost impossible unless you're like a really good typist and can look at like, dun, 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 like,
It,
but they help a lot.
see, that would, and I mix mine up between words, symbols, and all kinds of stuff.
Right.
But yeah, there, and I mean, again, you have to come up with the system that's going to work for you, because you do. YouTube, Instagram to help. That's unfortunate. Ooh, They had 60K subs. Oh,
Wow. Started over.
I can't, and didn't get any help from YouTube. Oh man.
Well, part of it I think is that let's say I make a comment about a book in
Yep.
my video that someone really gets upset about.
Yep.
And then they come in, they try to hack my videos and take me down. I'm sort of like, it's not going to happen on book, but people who make
Yeah.
political commentary
Yeah.
videos,
No. Yep.
you could easily make someone very angry, and they may try to take your channel down. And then when I try to recover it, YouTube has no real idea that I am me. So they can't say, oh yeah, restore my channel. I have to prove that I am me. And honestly, YouTube probably just don't want to deal with it. They say,
yeah, you're right. And I know a content creator in a different genre, actually. And someone took his video, remade it and stuff, uploaded it to their channel, and then put a copyright strike against the original creator of the video, and the original creator lost. I'm
really?
like, how is that possible?
I would think there were timestamps that would prove it, but maybe.
I don't know. There's just, and I mean, you're right too, Greg. It doesn't matter kind of what content, you're going to piss somebody off somewhere. I just find people need to get a flippin' life. Like, if you don't like someone's content, don't watch it. Why would you spend your time hacking or leaving these kinds of ignorant comments to people? It's just
because someone on the internet is wrong.
Huh. Yeah.
I guess. Yeah, see, Ven's mentioning, and I know Noah.
Is that not everyone who reads must converse, Noah? I have not seen
Bookworm. The Bookworm is the name of his channel.
Okay, it's a different Noah.
Yep.
Okay.
So he got locked out of his, broke his phone, Google didn't help, lost his booktube, yep, and he's just restarted as well. Yeah, this is Noah from the Bookworm. Ven and Noah are both British, but yeah, there's another case. He had to start from scratch. Yeah, see, Dave saves all his. I've got some of mine on my little portable hard drive, but not all of them. No resources to help, and that's, yeah, the unfortunate, because it is. And 60K, I mean, Lord, I can't even imagine. I would lose my mind.
I would just maybe throw in the towel at that point. I'm done.
No kidding, eh?
I'd just start over. Life is ephemeral.
Wasn't branded.
Everything leaves.
Okay, now here's me being the newbie. Wasn't branded, so it couldn't be recovered. What does that mean?
I don't know. I think I was talking about it earlier because I have like basically two YouTube accounts. One I signed on just as me, just starting. I want to sign on, based. Oh, this is my name, Greg so and so. And then when I wanted to make my YouTube channel, I did not want to use my real name as my full channel name.
Right.
So there's this thing called a branding channel. And I did this 3 years ago, so don't ask me how to do it again. But it's linked. So under my original YouTube channel, under my name, another bibliophile listed is a branded channel. I could also
maybe it just saves to there by the sounds of it.
It basically says I'm using the same email for both channels. And I've thought of starting a new channel which had more political content,
right?
Where I could talk about subjects that will really make people angry,
Can't imagine what that would involve, Greg.
Yeah. So, but I still may do it, but I would do it as a branded channel. So I still log in. I still see my three channel. At that point, three
Yep.
channels, and I think that's what she means by branded.
Yeah, it sounds like your content would at least be saved that way. Hopefully, you might get some
But
more
but but, but
help.
the idea is that of course, if they could hack into one, they could hack into three. Not sure about that. There's another
Sadly.
risk.
Yeah. Can't imagine losing. Yeah, and someone
Yeah.
see, and that's it too, right? If they take it over, then what do they end up doing on that? I think people get a power of their. Yeah, I totally agree with that. They're just wanting to be important or
Mm-hmm.
whatever it is that's going on in their world. Content, absolute mess, tend to not have manual reviews, chat bots, yikers. Renee says, oh, nice. Hard drive if I lost. Yeah, that would be brutal,
It would,
especially
but
if you
I used
lost.
to save some, but as I said, my hard drive would be full, and I've
Yeah.
been buying a new one. So
Yeah,
again, a lot of these old videos, no one's going to watch again. There's only a handful. I mean, there are a handful of videos that I get watched. I mean, 2 years old, they still get
Mm.
like 100 views per month, but
mhm.
Yeah.
it's a very small number of videos that still happens with.
See, and I've gone through some of mine, especially like the way older early ones, because I want to redo them anyhow. So I've kind of go through every now and again and pick and choose and kind of keep an eye on what's getting pulled up. But yeah, I mean, it would take and see, people don't think about all that storage on YouTube, let alone all the other platforms,
Mm-hmm.
right? I've been watching a series. It's called, it's on Prime, Underground. Oh, now I can't remember the other word, but I can see the caption. And it's about all these places under like in London, Slovakia, France, and so many of these places, the tunnels that they had, especially leading up to and during World War II. And now some of these places are being revamped as data storage places because they're massive, giant rooms, and the amount of machines they have to store these things are just wild. But yeah, so if you brand your channel, then YouTube can help your channel grow. It becomes a channel business. Okay, so still not really something about the storage, self business versus a branded channel. Okay, so sort of like owning a different business, sole proprietor type of thing, I guess. Started to delete a lot, just not important. Yep. And it's true because videos take up a huge, very true for the hard drive memory management. Yep. Hey, we're caught up on comments.
Hey, cool.
Woohoo! And hey, we may even talk books.
Okay, we haven't talked books. Let's
We've
talk books.
been kind of into tech and all kinds of things, but see, you just never. That's why I call it babbling books. I should just call it babbling because it could be anything. What are you guys reading since we chatted last week, which was awesome, by the way? Thanks so much for that. Alan, do you want to start?
Well, I'm reading this.
That book comes up a lot.
Yeah, I'm in halfway through this. It's a Civil War novel that I'm really liking. James Lee Burke is a great American writer.
Hmm.
I've already read a book by him, Complete, with Michael Romeo. But I haven't been reading a whole lot. I was kind of in a reading slump.
Uh-oh. Well, mind you, sometimes you need a break, and you have your artwork and your music and your volunteer work,
Mm-hmm.
right? A lot of things.
What about you, Greg?
I finished this morning.
Uh,
Yay!
Yeah, that's a huge book,
It's
isn't it?
650 pages, and they're not small pages, and
Mm.
it's not an easy text. So I'm very happy to have finished that book. We will, Alan and I and four of the people are going to have a conversation on Saturday, finishing up, and then it will be recorded and shown probably Sunday, so you can
Hmm.
catch up.
have we done two or three of those? This will be our
Third or fourth,
third.
something like that. I think it's third, maybe fourth, something like that. And then for Garbagist, I actually started early. We have a group read. We are doing Valley of the Dolls by Jacqueline Suzanne.
I've
Yeah.
heard of it, but never read it.
It was considered a pot boiler back in the day. It was published in 1965.
Oh, I was going to get 75.
So it's starting off in New York City, 1945. Young 20-year-old girl, super beautiful, making her way into the big world where, not a big spoiler, a multi-millionaire falls instantly in love. Oh no, he falls in love with her, and it just spiraling from there. It's eventually going to hit Hollywood and drugs eventually. So, but I'm reading it early because I'm listening to the audiobook. I'm a judge for the BookTube Prize. And August and September are almost certainly going to be taken up with BookTube Prize books. So
Now,
I said,
does that go all year long then, Greg? Because I
No.
know you've talked about that.
I'll get that. So the idea was I wanted to read this group read book, but I wouldn't have time in August.
Yep.
So I just said, getting it done early.
Now, what about September when we're reading this?
Oh, yeah, we're going to do Against the Day.
Whoa.
Yeah, I liked it so much. I bought 2 copies.
Yeah, and because Bad is in the audience, we are buddy reading City Infernal by Edward Lee, which is a horror novel. He usually does extreme horror books. This is well, I'm only on chapter 5, finished chapter 5, and he's a little tamer than he usually is in this book, probably because the publisher was a mainstream publishing house, and they go, we really can't let you get too gross and too graphic because this is going to go into regular bookstores and stuff. But so far, it's interesting enough.
Good.
Bad is in the audience, and I would be remiss to say that we weren't buddy reading this.
Now, is this the one you're behind on, Greg?
Yes.
Yes.
This is what she's accused me of not reading and joining us live. But okay, back to the BookTube Prize.
Yep.
Usually in the 1st of January, or actually it starts a little bit before, after about November, December, he asks for volunteers to be judges in fiction and nonfiction. And you can volunteer to be a judge in one category or both. And then at the first of the year, he sends out a list, usually of about 100 books in each category.
Now, who is this that...
This is Robert Sherrod.
Oh, okay.
He runs the BookTube Prize. So he sends you a list of 100 books. And you don't have to have read them. You just say, pick 20 of these books that you would like to read.
Oh, okay.
All 20 or however many judges pick 20 books or as many as they want, up to 20. You submit it, and the books that get the most number of votes, and you have 8 categories times 6. Was that 48 books? So 48 books get promoted, and then you have judges in the first round. There's 8 categories.
Oh, okay.
And so you only have to read one. You don't have to read 6 books.
Yeah.
And then at the end of the 2 months, you vote which are your favorite books, 1 to 6. The top 3 for all the votes, move on to the next round. So 3 drop off, 3 go to the next round. And then you only have 4 categories. And then you judge, pick your top 3, and then it goes on to the semifinals. There's 2 categories. And it passes on to the final where there's only 1. And then the final 3 books get the gold, silver, and bronze.
Oh, wow.
So I'm doing, I have done 1 round of nonfiction and 1 round of fiction. Took a break, but I volunteered to do nonfiction in the final round.
Nice.
So we'll see. So I like it. You get to, I have to admit, there are some duds because everyone's a bit different, And what comment was, Robert says, everyone's number 1 pick in their category is going to be someone's number 6.
Yeah.
And I had that in fiction. I'm friends with Book Chat with Pat.
Yeah. Yeah.
And one of her top books of the year so far was a book called Loved and Missed by Susie Boyd. And I got picked as a book 2 prize judge, and I ranked that number 6. But it's okay. As book lovers, you're going to have that different, and it's okay. It's okay that she thinks it's the best, and I think it's near the worst.
See, here's why I'm laughing, and I think is she right here? Oh, no, she isn't. Okay. She's in my fiction cube in the back, but The Witching Hour. Alan, we need to talk, man. How do you like that book?
I like that whole series of it's historical. I like the character David in it. He's like a psychic occult detective, and
Yep, the Telemaska, David and Aaron.
yeah. So
sorry, Greg, we kind of segued there.
It's okay. But that's part of the book too that I like is that you can discuss books and you can have different reasons for liking and disliking books, and you're never going to match exactly, which is why the book 2 prize is good, is because you are going to have those differences, but eventually you're going to come out with the top 3. I don't always agree with them, but usually by the time like the final round, they're all pretty solid picks. And it gets amazing because was it 2 years ago? I was in the nonfiction category. I had 1 book that I just thought that I was not going to like at all. You did just in the description. Nah, I don't want to read that.
Yeah.
But it wound up being number 2 in my list.
Wow.
You have to go in with a mind saying, okay, the description did not work for me. But once you get into it, okay, that did work for me. So.
See,
mine like hers only work when open.
Now, Greg, have you read any Anne Rice?
I have read some Anne Rice. I've
Have you
read her.
The Witching Hour?
What?
The Witching Hour?
No, I DNF'd The Witching Hour, and that was years ago. That was years ago.
Well,
my problem with Anne Rice is she goes a little over the top sometimes.
In that book I found she did, but I did enjoy Lasher and Taltos, the other 2 books in that series.
Was that the vampire series or is that the other?
No, this is the Mayfair witches that aren't, to me, really witches.
Are you sure about that? Taltos and Lasher?
Yep.
I thought Lasher was a vampire chronicle.
Nope, that's Lestat.
Yeah, I know that.
Yep. Oh, he's muted on us.
Oh, so I've read the first 3 of the Vampire Chronicle books.
Chronicles, yeah.
There was part of the 3rd book, Queen of the Damned.
Yep.
That just I was listening to the audiobook, but if it were a physical book, I just would have taken it and hurled it across the room and I don't mind. I don't mind. It's not a huge spoiler.
Yeah.
And again, this shows my my personal pet peeves. A vampire is walking up to a mountain, big mountain. Vampire just flies over the mountain. I'm going like, I'm thinking it's like, what is the source of your thrust and your steerage? Things just don't fly.
Yep.
And so that's my problem with some of these books when you suspend disbelief. I like to say it's like an elevator. You have a maximum capacity of an elevator. If your maximum capacity is 1,000 pounds and you put 1,200 on, either you're not going to the top or your cable's going to break.
Yeah.
And that's where my suspension of disbelief is. Some people have a capacity of 5,000 pounds of disbelief. And they, okay, vampire's flying, that's cool. My elevator doesn't have that capacity.
That makes sense. Alan, were you looking about Lasher and Lestat?
No.
Oh.
I was looking about Lasher. I know Lestat was the Rex star. I've read all those, but it's been a long time. Decades.
Yeah, well, go ahead.
Decades. I met Anne Rice in the 90s.
See, I read Anne in the 70s. I was like right there when Interview with the Vampire came out, which was around the same time Salem's Lot came out by Stephen King. And vampires, I'm like all over that, unless they twinkle. Don't even get me started on Stephanie Myers and twinkly vampires. It just don't happen. Because I started out with Dracula, and I mean, it's a high bar. You gotta be.
You do have it at a very high bar.
Well, and so I started with the series with Interview, and then I had the books right up to Memnoch. Something must have been in Queen of the Damned for me too, because I never read Memnoch. Then when I unhauled all my fiction books a few years ago, there went my Anne Rice. And I can't remember when I read The Witching Hour, but it had been like probably 10 or so years ago. And I never went on with the series. I think because I didn't like the book or that book, because to me it was too much repetition with the Mayfair family. Like, put a glossary or something in the back of the book instead of making me read this over and over and over again kind of thing. But then I decided with the channel, I've been reading fiction books again. So I'm like, oh, okay, well, I'll give this Witching Hour a try. And when I saw it on Amazon, you could get all three for a good deal. So again, the Witching Hour, I was not crazy about. But I'll be honest, my biggest pet peeve is when a sentence starts with the word and there's no good reason for that. So most of my book now has red strokes through it. And by the time I got to not counting 900, I'd lost it. I finished the book, but it was just insane, the number of sentences. But Lasher and Taltos was good, and now I've almost finished the Vampire Chronicles again. But because I don't do anything like most people, I haven't been reading it in order. I've read Interview, I've read Prince Lestat, the end of the series, I've read Merrick, and I've been hopping all over the place with them. But the last book, Prince Lestat, is actually good. If you don't want to read the whole series, she actually introduces all the vampires back with a bit of their backstory. So really, the only thing you miss by reading just that book is seeing the growth of Lestat from this little punk jerk in Interview to seeing how he matured.
Uh-oh, is she frozen?
And helps and supports all the other the series. So yeah, it was a good read. So catch up a bit because I did. Oops, No biscuits. Sorry, Dave, no biscuits. I know biscuits are a thing on yours. But hopefully Bad is still here. My cup glows in the dark. You just won't notice it because it's daytime. But yes, I have a glow in the dark cup. I remember Bad made a comment when we were at your live. I love glow in the dark things. Well, except now she's hungry. Dave brought up lots of chocolate. I agree. Do you guys have favorite biscuits?
I right now is the Costco s'more cookie.
Oh yeah.
Ooh. I have not seen those in our Costco.
I presume they're everywhere, but maybe because you're Canada is a different import, you know.
The sad thing is, you would be surprised how many things we don't have the same between our countries at the same stores. Like even our candy bars, chocolates and things are different. They taste different up here than down there. Because I know when we went to Pennsylvania years and years ago, some of the things we bought there, it was the same name as I'd find up here, but a different type of chocolate, different type of process.
Well,
but yeah, it makes me sad the number of companies now that no longer ship to Canada. And I'm worried that's going to just start getting worse depending on what the world looks like come January 2025.
Yeah.
But I'm trying not to think of that, and I'm making the most of the summer and coloring and reading books.
You're gonna have to worry if things go bad. A lot of Americans trying to go, hey, you want some retirees moving in? And I'm gonna guess they're gonna say no, but
yeah, I think our border is gonna get pretty busy in a while, possibly. Are you going to read the series, Greg? Keep reading. It gets better, I promise. There you go. Oh, Guts and Blood is coming out soon.
I don't know. I've read a lot of Edward Lee's books before, and I usually end up liking them. I'm a little less fond of his books published by Leisure, and that's where this one was published. That's where I think he's a little constrained by the publisher. I like he's a little more when he's a little more independent, and but we'll see.
Yes, I
guess he's ahead of me.
Yeah. Well, I just reread Michael McDowell's The Amulet and Cold Moon over Babylon for Who Died July. Those are definitely graphic, but it was funny because when I read the Scarpetti, I read two of those stories, the Scarpetta series.
That's Patricia Cornwell?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
And I didn't like them because they were graphic. But yet I love Michael McDowell, who is like super gruesome, eyeballs hanging out, blood everywhere. And I'm like, why? But see, McDowell's, is made up. It's still murder, mayhem, but it's completely false.
Yeah, it's being eaten by a zombie. You're really not worried, but in those are real life crimes, and presumably she might be basing them at least a little bit on a true crime.
And someone actually told me one of those two novels was based on events from the state of Virginia.
Right.
So reading that, and because some of my former clients, I don't need to read the real life stuff. It's like, no. But McDowell, I was fine with. Zabadzos, I heard Anne Rice, the book Beauty Punishment, very erotic. So, now, see, I haven't heard of that.
I tried to read one of those, when I was in my 20s and single. Oh, an erotic book. I'll like this. It's about spanking.
Oh.
Which I guess is a form of eroticism for some people, but To
each their own.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, but never read them. Yeah, sure, Dave. You're going to blame it on Olive. We know she's that sassy girl.
She's the one that reads them, right?
That's right. She's looking forward to Garb August. Haven't read any of her books, but I do have a small collection. Ah, Vents for custard creams. Now, see, those I don't know. On the biscuits.
Hmm.
I'm not real. The odd time I have to have a Chips Ahoy cookie, it's just that chocolate craving. But other than that, yeah, I'm not really a big cookie person. Now, donuts is my weakness.
I used to love donuts. When I lived in Washington, we had this place called Legendary Donuts, sort of based off of Voodoo Donuts in Portland. Excuse me. And they had not custom, but very artisan donuts.
Ooh.
And my favorite was called the Oprah. That was like a maple and bacon donut.
Really?
Don't knock it. First, it bacon on a donut? Yes, bacon on a donut with maple syrup on top. Or
Wow.
it was like crack. It was like it was really good.
See, I would never have considered, but I was just watching a cooking show the other day, and they made a sandwich with peanut butter, banana, and bacon. I'm like, no, I don't think I'd be trying that, but there's so many different things out there. You okay?
I'm okay.
Okay. Understand now, makes sense about Edward Lee. Book, Big Head was brutal. Okay. True crime can be crazy. Yippers. Reading about a serial killer story in my own city of Austin. Ooh, we actually do have a serial killer on the loose. Yikes. That is not good. Well, I found out, which I actually lived in the murder capital of Canada for a while. We've since handed that over to Toronto, but yeah, seems we had quite a few people here who were doing fellow people in. Definitely Olive. Yeah, right, Dave. Poor little doggy.
Blame the dog.
That's right. She got a hold of the iPad again and got into those stories. The creamy custard. Yep, creamy custard's a UK thing. Yeah, see, and even there they have, because I know when I've watched their live Gareth, some of the different biscuits he has, although he was cracking himself up the last time, it was, Alan, I can't remember if you were there when Gareth was going on about, what was it? Ginger snaps? No, there were ginger nuts or something like that, I think. It was,
I was on their show when they had Pat on. That was a good show.
Yeah.
Fun.
And they were joking about the cookies, biscuits, I should say, that Gareth had.
I've never seen Pat laugh so much. She was off the chain laughing. It was good.
That was a great show. She was having a wonderful time. Oh, Vince heard about maple bacon donuts. Need to make them at some point. See, now I'm curious. And hey, I live in the maple capital of the world.
Well, go to your local donut, your artisan. I mean, not Dunkin' Donuts, but like your local donut shop. Maybe they have them.
They might. Have to check those out. Ooh, lemon-filled donuts are Dad's favorite. I love Boston. If we're going donuts, I love a Boston cream. Gotta have that custard and chocolate. Ginger nuts and ginger snaps are amazing. Now, I just realized I missed one of Bad's comments way back here. Shane end up getting back, but I know Bat had said something about. Oh, here we go. Great topics. Let's talk about books. Sorry about missing that, Bat. It's Oh, Dave, I don't know how maple bacon donuts could be anything but awesome. I don't know. I Maybe it's because I love Krispy Kremes and I'm going for that sweet flavor, which the maple would have. Maybe I'm thinking, is it it would be bacon bits, wouldn't it?
Depends.
Or is it
The
just the flavor
there,
of
there there are some like legendary donuts usually had like the bacon bits chopped up, but there was one other place that actually just had stripped because these donuts were not the with the hole; they were the bar,
Yeah.
the
Ah,
donut, and like they had 2 strips of bacon just on top of that.
wow. I did work at Dunkin' Donuts when I was a teen. I smell like coffee and sugar. Yeah, that would be the thing. Working there and seeing the donuts all the time would be a different experience than just hopping in. Oh, no apologies. Oh, you're so sweet. Put more. Wait till you see my keyboard warrior video. I've got my journals with glow in the dark stickers. Have glow in the dark stickers all over the place. Hey, and we're caught up with comments. And Alan, are we running into General Hospital time?
Yes.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Well,
That's all right.
I will leave it to the two of you if you would like to continue or call it a wrap.
I don't know. I mean, I gotta think about making dinner pretty soon. So
Okay. And
um,
Alan is soon off to General Hospital. I thank you for missing part of it for the
No
stream.
problem.
See, like I said, and Ven, if you're still here, we still didn't get through all the questions, buddy, so don't worry about it. They're just kind of a backup in case we don't.
they are just. That's what these lives are. They're just, like I said, they're pub nights where you sit down with friends and just never know what's going to come up.
Exactly. Well, seeing, we got off on tech and we get to books
Mhm.
and life, and we live in different countries. So it's interesting to learn about the different things. Today I learned that Pacific time is 3 hours behind Eastern time. And I mean, sometimes that I find with scheduling, and I'm sure you guys notice having done this so much longer, is when you have guests and people coming to chill, trying to get that time factor worked out, right? Because you vary.
I've decided that we have early shows, then we have our regular shows because we do a lot of guests from Europe and other places,
Mhm.
and they can't do 8 p.m. Eastern time unless you're Gareth.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
the
that's true.
When you're
He
Gareth,
doesn't sleep.
2 a.m. That's fine. But no,
Yeah.
I like it because you get a different group that comes into the
Mm,
chat when you have an afternoon show or an evening show.
that's true. Well,
Someday, Alan, we got to get someone from Australia and have a really, really weird time and have a whole different crew that you've never seen before come on your show.
and that's true because it's like time travel. They're on a different day.
They are.
Right? I mean, Greg, you're getting ready for
Yeah,
dinner.
Yep.
Alan, you've just had lunch, or if you've had your lunch yet, and
No,
it's wild. So we'll finish up on the comments, and this has been great. I've really enjoyed. I hope you guys.
I like having not to run the show for once.
yeah.
Well, as you can tell, it's a nice, quiet little live stream
It
here,
is.
and it's lovely. I've enjoyed. You get so many wonderful people popping by. Burger, Boston Donuts, work sometime. Not good for my attempts to be healthy.
A donut,
Donuts are for
one
fruit.
donut's not going to harm you.
You gotta live. Aw, great
Thank
chat.
you.
Lots of fun. Need to go back to my horrible story. This was awesome and fun. Thank you so much for joining.
Thanks, Bad.
It's not just me. And Dave, have a great weekend all.
Bye, Dave and Olive.
Thank you so much to all our viewers. Special thanks to Alan and Greg. I really appreciate you guys joining in. It's been awesome. And this is the funny part when you hit stream, but you know you got a couple seconds, so you're kind of waving. And then we say bye-bye, and it comes to